The problem we have here is where one individual claims ownership via a transport, whether legitimate or not, of this piece of land. Apparently, that transport dates back to April 2014. The residents here are claiming that since then that individual has been trying to do construction, but they have protested against it. Since the government change, this individual also happened to got renewed energy to come and start construction. You notice an enormous fence is being constructed. The NDC in our investigations, the NDC did not receive a plan from the individual nor ownership documents. And so I instructed my officers to meet with the NDC on November 5 and for them to get a cease order against the construction. We also were able to get the police involved. The cease order was served upon the individual who claims ownership of the land, and we are where we are at this point in time. I think too the NDC did not reach out very clearly to residents, so there was a lot of miscommunication, as though the ministry was not involved. We were involved actually from the inception, and that is how things take a while. The process takes a while. Investigations have to be done, notices have to be served, and that basically took the better part of a month and a half. And so we are at a point now where the NDC has been instructed to ensure that they authenticate, that they determine the authentication of the person's transport. Well, the entire construction is illegal because there is no plan, there is no approved plan, and there is no permission. So as we move forward, I think the NDC will have to take more condign action against this individual, and with a view to possibly demolishing if they determine that they are in contravention of the construction permit.
He had no right to come here because this is 7-bed, it's title land. What we are questioning here, how is it that he come about getting a transport in a community that is sugar welfare owned, give us title, he in the midst of all of this get a transport? Very questionable. Prior to 2015, he tried to do some work here and it was stopped. And then somewhere in between when the election problems were there, he used that opportunity thinking government was not functioning. And he came and he started to do this. And he's very aggressive. He's very, very aggressive to the community people when they try to speak to him.
This guy for the last second week in September, with the audacity, tell the GWI people to reroute the main pipeline that's servicing this small community. To our knowledge and we eyesight that we see this plan now with this 14 feet, is that he was literally thieving the reserve, and he actually gone with half of the drain. A couple days ago when we had the heavy rain, this drain never overtopped. Never overtopped. And this we big concern now. And this guy, like, he ain't stopping. He got 1, 2 workers coming, and in the hours when everybody at work, this guy operating very, very quietly. And he gone again lunchtime, he come back like between 1 and 2, he do little. And then finishing.
Many of the residents keep asking me, well, if one man can't get the entire area. So one resident, I can remember yesterday, asked me how we could go about developing the area for if anybody else wants to come and own these lands and build on it. So that's something that I as the regional chairman would work towards to ensure that the lands are developed properly after the assessment by the engineer with regards to drainage force. And the NDC chairman has a lot of work to do. And we would believe that now communication should not, any communication should not be withheld from the residents in knowing what is going on this land. I think that this land now should be barricaded, signs should be posted until the authenticity of the documents produced is investigated thoroughly. Many of the residents keep asking me, well, if one man can't get the entire area. So one resident, I can remember yesterday, asked me how we could go about developing the area for if anybody else wants to come and own these lands and build on it. So that's something that I as the regional chairman would work towards to ensure that the lands are developed properly after the assessment by the engineer with regards to drainage force. And the NDC chairman has a lot of work to do. And we would believe that now communication should not, any communication should not be withheld from the residents in knowing what is going on this land. I think that this land now should be barricaded. Signs should be posted until the authenticity of the documents produced is investigated thoroughly.
That the NDC in 2019, BV Triumph, that again an APNU AFC controlled NDC, leased land to someone for $500,000 per year. And that is prime location that could have cost tens of millions of dollars. We have another case, a third case in Cortland Firish, where I spoke to the chair of Cortland Firish again, another APNU AFC controlled NDC. Someone got over 600 acres of NDC pasture where farmers, livestock owners are grazing their animals, and that person now claims prescriptive ownership over that piece of land. That matter ended up in court, and so the NDCs have to uplift their game. If you're genuinely representing people, do so without any political interference, because the politics ended when you got elected. Now it is time for us to serve our people.